My name's Amata, and in this Red Gamer Take video, I am here with a rather interesting rumour for you today regarding Microsoft. Now, Microsoft aren't exactly shy about the fact that they are very keen to fix the lack of first-party exclusives. I even discussed fairly recently how Phil Spencer is aware of the meme, and he pretty much said those words, around their lack of really killer first-party titles. Obviously, they've been saying for a long time that's something that we need to fix, but obviously, while we have seen things improve a little bit, it's still a bit lacking, at least in my personal opinion. Obviously, when it comes to games and whether or not they are for you, that is extremely subjective. However, there's a really interesting rumour flying around at the moment that isn't actually completely far-fetched, but obviously, as with rumours, do take it with a pinch of salt. However, there is a Polygon article / report, which of course I will link below for your perusal if you wish to give it a read, that is basically saying that Microsoft are looking at acquiring some rather big names, or were looking, but one of them they're still looking at, excuse me, is Electronic Arts of all people. So they also are saying that they also looked at buying Valve as well as Bluehole, who of course develop PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Now, obviously, these sort of discussions happen all the time in corporations. You know, it might go nowhere, it might go everywhere, it might just be like, nah, well, not right now. Or it will just never reach the point of, like, phoning the person and be like, hey, is there something we could, you know, arrange? And then being like, nah, not interested, or whatever. So that's fairly, you know, par for the course. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Valve turn it down, to be honest, because I don't really see the reason Valve have to agree to this. I mean, maybe Microsoft buy a stake in them and they could, you know, Valve could kind of help them make the Windows Store not crap. That would be cool. But beyond that, I don't see Valve agreeing to being sold, to be honest. Because, like, even if Microsoft wants to buy, the company obviously has to agree to being sold as well. So, you know, I can see Microsoft again buying a stake in Valve, but I don't see them being sold. Obviously, everything is possible. I'm not saying it's impossible. Just saying that I doubt it. Bluehole as well, I wouldn't be shocked to see them purchased by Microsoft, but obviously that would potentially close off the potential for future platforms, and obviously I don't see them doing that. Now, the main one, the crux of this, is of course obviously the rumour regarding EA. Now, obviously Microsoft could definitely afford it because, well, again, the Xbox One is definitely, you know, the sort of runner-up in the race between them and Sony, and obviously the Switch is obviously rapidly taking over them as well. Microsoft are, of course, way more than just Xbox. They make a ton of money elsewhere, despite the fact that Xbox is not as popular as PS4. They're still doing really well as a company, so they could definitely afford it. The question is whether or not EA would agree to it again, and we do actually have a comment here from the Wedbush Securities analyst Michael Pachter. I know he's not particularly well liked, but he does actually have a fairly valid point, but I do think that his point doesn't completely discount the possibility that Microsoft are looking to buy EA. And he basically says, quote, the reason Microsoft would have trouble buying a publisher is that the publisher makes more money on the PlayStation platform than on Microsoft's platform. At best, a purchase of EA would allow them to capture 60% of net income, and likely far less, so it would pencil out financially. This might have made sense back in 2001 when Xbox launched, but at these prices it's hard to justify. Also, keep in mind that more of EA's revenue is licensed, so Disney and FIFA might not be happy if sales of their games were cut in half. Now, I will agree in that, let's say for a second that this rumour is true and that Microsoft want to buy EA. I would doubt it very, very, very highly that EA would agree to making their games Xbox One only, or Xbox only for the future. I do not see that happening, ever, to be honest with you. So perhaps instead of an outright purchase, it would just be Microsoft buying, say, a controlling stake in the company, with the, you know, prerequisite that EA are still free to publish their games on PlayStation and obviously mobile and everything else. Because, you know, this is EA, they are a huge corporation, they are themselves worth a ton of money, so they're not going to agree to not selling on PlayStation. I do not see that happening, to be honest. I don't think Microsoft could offer them enough to make that worth it in EA's eyes. So I don't see that happening, but would Microsoft ask for it? I mean, it would make sense, but again, I don't see EA agreeing to that. So it might make more sense, again, for Microsoft to buy a controlling stake in EA, and EA might be down for that, again, if they can still continue publishing on other platforms, because, well, while they are very successful and very profitable, they've definitely taken a bit of a beating lately in terms of PR, and obviously Microsoft could definitely use their rather impressive games library, so could be really, really interesting, and obviously could have pretty huge reaching consequences for the gaming industry. Perhaps we could see EA become like less Satan incarnate. That would be lovely, but you know, if wishes and dreams, they don't always come true now, do they? Anyway, so it's a really interesting rumour. Again, I don't see Valve being sold to Microsoft at any time soon. Maybe, again, like, Microsoft might be buying stocks in them, but I don't see Valve agreeing to that. I mean, it's definitely possible, because, again, Microsoft have basically all the money on the planet, but I'd be surprised, to be honest. Again, that's just my uninformed opinion, so, you know, take that for what it is. Bluehole, again, yeah, I could see it, but they would also probably not want to say no to PS4. Obviously, we haven't really heard one way or the other, based on what I can find, if PUBG is making its way to the PS4. They haven't they haven't put a line under it or anything. You know, we had a comment from the CEO of the PUBG Corporation basically saying that it's Xbox One PUBG for now, but they haven't said no to anything else. So it's a timed exclusive from that statement, but obviously they haven't actually confirmed that. So I don't see them wanting to say no PlayStation 4, because, you know, PUBG is making all the money in the world alongside Microsoft, so I don't see them wanting to turn down a huge platform like that. But again, this is a lot of money we're talking about, so maybe they will. I don't know. Regardless, that is me done for this particular video. Do keep your eyes peeled, as there is another video coming about Game Pass, and it's a really lengthy discussion, so do keep your eyes peeled for that. That should be up around the same sort of time as this video. So thank you very much again for watching, and I'll see you next time.